If you like peach cobbler and if you like pound cake, this is the recipe for you. This is a simple and easy peach cobbler pound cake we're about to use for Thanksgiving. We're going to begin our recipe by using 2 boxes of Betty Crocker pound cake mix. I have 1 cup of sour cream. I have some all-purpose flour there, approximately 1/4 cup. I have some cinnamon sugar butter, a can of peaches. Also have my eggs, some peach puree, and have the butter. And we are going to follow the recipe according to what the box says by adding a couple little things too to make this taste a little more homemade. I'm going to preheat my oven to 325. I'm doubling this recipe, but this recipe can be used as a simple loaf. So I am going to start by putting my 2 boxes of my cake mix into my bowl here. I'm adding the 1 stick of butter. I'm adding also 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to take some of that butter that's on that paper and rub it around on the inside. But we're also going to spray the inside of this fluted cake pan. Now, like I said, because I'm doubling this, I'm using this particular cake pan. But if you want to make it smaller, you can just use 1 box and use it in a loaf pan. I used butter, and I'm also using the baking spray, Baker's Joy, to coat that very well. After I added that into the first 2 things, I'm going to go ahead and add my eggs into this cake mix. I'm adding my sour cream. This is going to give it a nice rich flavor. My peach puree. Those were some frozen peaches that I had from the summer, and I just cooked them in a pot and pureed them. Now, instead of using water, I'm using whole milk, and this is going to just be mixed all together. After our cake batter is well mixed, we are going to get our peaches together. We're going to drain this can of peaches because we're going to use the syrup as our glaze. I have my brown sugar, our cinnamon sugar butter here, and we're going to mix that with the all-purpose baking mix, and we're going to make those into little, clumpy, because that's going to be our dumplings for the bottom of the cake pan for our peach cobbler pound cake. Now we're going to take the peaches that have been drained, and we're just going to line them up around in the cake pan. You can add as many peaches as you want or as little as you want, but this is just going to give that cake, when you flip it out, a really nice look to it. And we're going to take some of those little dumpling pieces and put them at the bottom as well, so that way it can have a nice peach dumpling look. That cinnamon sugar butter, as well as that all-purpose flours baking mix, is going to make it really, really delicious. Once you place it all at the bottom there, like you see here, we are going to sprinkle a little brown sugar. This is dark brown sugar. If you don't have dark brown sugar, you can use light brown sugar. Just going to sprinkle it on about a good 2 teaspoons all around the bottom. And once we do that, we are going to pour in our cake mix. You want to take your time and make sure that you pour it all the way around. And once you get your cake mix poured all into your pan, you're going to tap it at the bottom because you want to remove any air bubbles that may be trapped in there, because you want your cake to kind of have a nice smooth texture. And I'm just evening it out, the batter, before it goes into the oven and to bake. And you see, I'm just using my little spatula and just smoothing it out. And then, like I said, you're going to tap it on your counter to make sure that it, get most of the air bubbles out. And you can see a couple of little air bubbles at the top there. This is going to bake in the oven. I have it set for an hour. But you're going to check it because you might have to add extra minutes, which I did have to. I had to add an extra 10 minutes to this. Every oven is a little different, so you want to bake it an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and 15. I'm going to add some powdered sugar and a little cinnamon, and then I'm going to use that peach syrup that was left over, and this is going to be our glaze. And we're just going to give this a good whisk, and we're going to set this to the side. Now, an optional step, because I noticed that my glaze wasn't quite as white or glazy like I wanted, I added a few drops of my extra white frosting whitening that to this to kind of give it a nice light brown texture. Like I said, it is optional, but This is just a step that I wanted, and that's the color that I was trying to achieve. And we are going to set this aside. And once your cake has finished cooking or baking in the oven, you want to take it out and you're going to use your toothpick or your cake tester to go to the bottom, and it should be dry. I let my cake rest for about a good 10 minutes before I flipped it out, and this is what it looked like. I did have a couple of the little dumpling pieces to get stuck at the bottom. I just removed them and placed them on top. But your cake should look so beautiful. Everything, oh, the smell came just kind of went all through my house. I'm going to take the glaze now and just gently go over this cake. Now look at this. Look at it. You can make your glaze a lot thicker if you want. I kind of wanted mine to be a little on the loose side, but this cake was so beautiful. The cinnamon, the peaches, that peach puree that you place inside your cake is going to make a big difference in this peach cobbler pound cake. Instead of just having the peaches on top, you're going to have some of that flavor through the cake as well. This recipe is perfect for if you do not have the time to do it from scratch. The way the glaze just kind of ooze over this cake, it's like so decadent. But like I said, this is perfect for Thanksgiving. It's perfect to surprise your family. You don't feel like doing it from scratch? Try this recipe. So delicious. And of course, this is perfect for even Christmas when it comes up. Spilled a little bit there and I just went ahead and cleaned it up and everything. But this cake, it looks so beautiful, doesn't it? I mean, just look how the glaze and the peaches and those little dumpling clumps at the top. I mean, it's perfect. So I did let my cake rest for about additional 10 minutes before I decided to cut into it. I recommend you wait till your cake completely cools, or at least cool enough before you cut it. It kind of helped the heat from it being in the oven kind of help it to retain its moisture. But I couldn't help myself. I wanted to go ahead and cut into this baby. I mean, it was so moist. That sour cream really added an extra flavor and extra moistness to this pound cake. It was so delicious. The peaches that's in the pound cake was just a very mild flavor if you don't like a lot of that fruity stuff. So if this is a recipe you want to try this Thanksgiving, leave a comment down below. Click like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and make sure you share this with your family and friends. Thank you for watching, and God bless and have a safe holiday.